I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's paralytic again and it's having to lean against this poor defenceless tree to keep yourself upright, but you could be quite close to the truth, but in this instance I'm afraid you're well off the truth. That's what you should be looking at there, which, unless you've got high definition and a really large television, you might not be able to make it out, but it is in fact a beetle. It's about 3 millimeters long. It's a cracking little species though when seen close up, and I'll try and put some better photographs in than the video content you're about to watch. This is the nationally notable Phloiophilus edwardsii. There you are. That's just what you were thinking. Now, it's not very often that I show you anything as small as this, and this is a beetle, and a beetle that's active during the late autumn and through the winter months. It's not common either, and in Nottinghamshire it's totally confined largely to the Sherwood Forest area, but there is a record from nearby Clumber Park. Where I am here filming this one would mean a new grid square, and quite a way from both sites, more or less between both sites to be honest. The beetle in question is very small, grubby fingernail time. There you can see, look, and you're looking at a maximum of about 3 millimeters in length, and this one, when I first found it, was actively crawling up this trunk. The species it is Phloiophilus edwardsii, and it's a nationally notable bee species, and as I've mentioned is one that you can find often under bark and usually near fungi during the winter months. Now, there's been one historical Sherwood Forest record, but it has been found a number of times since. Dillis and myself have found it, and Keith Alexander found it during survey work in 2009 and 2010. The nearest record to this location is actually Budbury South Forest, which, as the crow or the raven would fly, is about a mile south of here. This is Hazel Gap. I was very surprised to find the species here. This is the trunk of a sycamore. I know it's not much to look at, but small is beautiful and small can be very rare. And this is by no means a common species in the county. It may be more widespread than is presently thought, but I think this may well be one of those species that we have here in Nottinghamshire, which are largely restricted to the Sherwood Forest area. There's a number of species, obviously with Sherwood Forest being so important. Anyway, that's a lovely little tiny beetle, Phloiophilus edwardsii, rarely seen, and it's not surprising due to its small size. And this is the exact kind of habitat that I would look for Phloiophilus edwardsii, and say anytime during the winter months. Doesn't really matter how cold it is. Have found one individual crawling across snow once, but wherever this type of fungi grows on the trunks or branches of trees and where the bark is loose like this, that's where you want to look. But remember, if you're lifting bark, just lift it partially. Try not to snap it off. And if you do snap it off, always take a little hammer and some thin panel pins with you. That way you can tack that loose bark that's broken off back on. Means it's still usable by invertebrates